It's been a while. Hello, ttyl podcast. We're back. A lot of us look kind of different. I'm in scrubs. We took a break for a week because Sarah was off flying to San Francisco and stuff, but we're back and with a very, very special guest, joined by my co-host.
Who are you?
Oh, yeah, I'm Adrian.
I'm Sarah. Yes, today we have a very special friend. Her name is Joyce, and she can give a little intro.
Yeah, I'm Joyce. I'm Sarah's friend from high school. And then
go way back.
Adrian and I,
play guitar together.
I knew of him for a long time, but I only recently got to know him like within the past month. And I've been living in Seattle for the past 3 years, but then since then I've basically moved out of all my stuff from Seattle. I'm trying to figure out where I want to live next. So I'm here in New York for a month and a half, and I'm at the very end of my New York stint, so time to figure out what's next.
Fast.
Wait, Sarah, do you want to say where you've lived?
Oh, sure.
Just so like more background.
Yeah. Okay, wait, also just background for this pod in general. We're doing kind of like a West Coast versus East Coast debrief because we kind of have lived all in different places or different experiences. So I've lived in Indiana my entire life, including college.
So and neither coast.
Yeah, exactly. But then New York after
the mid-coast.
For like a year. No, literally the most mid. But I have a lot of family in California, like Bay Area, so I go there almost every year since I was like a kid. And then I also have a little bit of experience seeing like Orange County vibes.
Do you feel a little betrayed that the rest of your extended family ended up on California and you're just chilling in Indiana?
I honestly don't know how that even happened because even my grandparents were in California. But it's nice because I get to visit them a lot.
I feel like that's a common thing though. Like I also have family in LA and like in California in general. Like all my dad's side is over there, but then we ended up in Indiana. So I'm like, I don't know how that happened.
The job.
Wait, did both your parents work for Eli Lilly?
Mine?
Yeah, both of y'all's?
No.
My dad, my mom did. Were your parents
My parents owned their own business. Yeah.
That's
and they
so
chose
interesting. Yeah. I guess it was cheaper than
so my dad was like, you can get a warehouse much cheaper in Indiana than in California. But like, why Indiana of all places?
Like low-key Texas would have been cheap.
Oh yeah, Texas is
but hot as fuck.
Yeah,
he probably considered that and chose Indiana.
I'm not against Texas. Like if I had grown up as a Texan, is that what they're called? Texans? Yeah. I would be okay with that.
Whoa, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, Texas choice.
Like for both of you, when people like say you're in New York or something, and people are trying to guess where you're from, do you get California a lot?
Yeah, I get West Coast vibes, but I think it's because my earrings and tat and perm.
Well, that's new. You're just saying that.
Okay.
No, I've been permed in the past.
Oh, you have?
But this is just the curliest it's ever fucking been.
Oh, okay.
Looks like it blew up. Anyways, what about you, Joyce?
I definitely get West Coast vibes, which is why, like, before embarking on this little adventure, I was like, oh, I'm definitely gonna move to LA. Like, I'm trying out other cities just to try them out, but, like, I felt like I would be in LA because, like, I'm already in Seattle, like, West Coast vibes, very similar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Now that I've been here, I'm like,
wait a dang minute.
wait, I might not be West Coast vibes as I thought.
Maybe you're a bi-coastal gal.
That's how I would like to be.
I think
What'd you call her?
Too. She's bi.
Bi-coastal.
Oh, I love that for you. Slay.
Wait, okay, I don't remember if it was literally like 2 seconds ago, but I don't remember if you fully hashed out exactly what era you're in your intro, but do you want to give some more background on that?
Yeah, so I basically want to move to one of the like major cities in the United States, so probably LA or New York. So before coming on this New York part of the trip, I thought that I was going to do like a month and a half in New York and then maybe like a month and a half to 2 or 3 months even in LA before deciding if I wanted to move there. But after being here for some time, I haven't decided yet. So that's to come. But I'm not as eager about moving to LA anymore. The whole traffic and car situation is kind of putting it out of the forefront of my next step.
Yeah. I feel like it's also hard to say though because you haven't, I mean obviously you visited, but like
That's
living
true.
there could be.
Living
Yeah, I
there could
feel
be
like
different.
you probably felt that way, like some type of way about New York subways and like shit at some point, right?
That's true. I think
The rats.
I thought the rat
garbage.
situation here was going to be worse than it was. So like shout out. I know there's somebody in New York who's responsible for like taking care of the rats now.
Wait.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
Not like taking care of them.
Someone's just on a
They're
mission.
not mothering them.
Is a rat mommy?
They're there.
No, it's like a rat exterminator of New York City. Like you should look it up. It seems
Whoa.
like it's working.
Is it a 6-figure job?
Hopefully.
Because I could be convinced.
your next
Anyways.
career choice.
No. Physical therapist by day, rat exterminator by night.
Yeah, I think like
I can see that for you.
maybe I feel like people will always say that the traffic is worse than you would think it is, but like since I've been here, like the rat situation hasn't been as bad as I have seen. But I've definitely seen them. It's just like I'm not encountering them every like 5 seconds on the street like I thought I was going to.
And they're not like terrifying, right? You're just like, oh my God, it's a rat.
Well,
Never mind.
She's seen things.
I've seen a rat like the size of like a baby dog.
no.
No,
I
in
see.
the
I don't
city?
want to see one of those.
Yeah. But I was like, it's back when I was still in school, like up there.
I hear about that. Look, I want to see it just to like.
Like I
live
feel like it belongs in a zoo, you know?
It's crazy.
Like we have elephants, giraffe, and a baby-sized rat.
Oh my
How
god.
close was it to you?
No, it was just like digging through like a pile of trash, and then it darted across us, and it was like it looked like a giant fucking potato, like on legs and shit.
It's giving pesto.
Yeah, low key.
Oh my
I
God.
know people keep telling me about that, but I've never seen one. I really don't want to. Like, please just keep all of that out of my life.
We've all seen like the same one potato ass rat.
Making his rounds. Hopefully, rat mommy's got you.
Okay, moving on. Okay, so we kind of have like a bunch of categories to get through, but I think you're like new to New York. I think it'll be like fresh in your mind. And let's try to work to a consensus. Basically, we're going to do like a scoring point. We can all have different opinions, but we're going to try to have a unanimous decision, okay? At the end of the day, if we still disagree, we are going to like score a point for West Coast or East Coast, okay?
Sounds good.
Some of my categories have like statements to go with them to like catch the vibe. So first thing, let's talk about the food scene. So something I found on the internet, LA burgers are better. New York fine dining is better. Who would you guys give the food scene point to?
That's so hard. 'cause
Are we
I
Okay,
don't-
wait.
About burgers?
Let's not even do like LA. It's like West Coast versus East Coast.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So I think like the whole point of that statement was like if you want like cheap, not cheap is hard. Like
Like
how would
quality,
you-
kind of.
I think
The taste,
quality would go to like
quality.
New York. Like if you want the fine dining experience, like omakase, like a nice steak and all of that, New York has the point on that. But if you want something like I would say the West Coast has better tacos than New York, for example, or the East Coast.
But are we counting tacos as like the only cheap thing? Because I would argue that actually New York has both better cheap and expensive food. Because if you think about the range of like cost of food here, like you can go to Chinatown and get like rice rolls for like $4 or like a banh mi for like $8, you know?
Yeah.
But you can also go to like a really high end like omakase or steak spot here. And it's all good. Like all throughout the
Okay.
spectrum.
I think there are good things in each category in New York, but there's just such like a flux of like restaurants and stuff that there's also a lot of bad or mid places too.
Wait, so you're like arguing for the West Coast?
So I'm not sure. I've honestly thought about this a lot. Like my experience though is so biased. So like in SF and like the Bay Area, I feel like the Asian food scene is so good, taste wise.
Better than Chinatown?
Tea. Okay, I might agree with Sarah on this one. That just Asian food in general on the West Coast is better. I think here it's more like it tends to be more fusion, especially like in like Manhattan. Like maybe like in Queens and stuff, it's like equally as good with not being as like expensive. But I feel like overall on the West Coast, like think about like, you know, K-Town in LA, like how good the food is there. Like you can't really compare K-Town food to like Korean food in some other cities, I would say. And the one thing that Seattle does well in terms of like Asian food, or like Asian food, I think Seattle does pretty well, but like that I think is better than New York is Vietnamese food.
Oh, I agree with that one. I think New York has a poor Vietnamese
Yeah.
representation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Thai here.
I would say, okay, in my opinion, I think Korean food, the West Coast might have a slight edge above us. But it's not like we can't get good Korean food here, you know?
Yeah.
And then Vietnamese, I agree, they have way better than us. I think Thai, I think we have better Thai. I think Japanese food, we have really, really good Japanese food here.
Seattle has some good spots, right?
Wait, but my problem with like Seattle specifically, by the way, I visited Seattle, it was great, I loved it. They have good food, don't get me wrong, but limited choices. Like we might have like 5 good omakase spots versus when I was in Seattle, everyone would be like, "Oh, Shinro."
Shiro or
Shiro.
like Kashiba. Yeah, there's not as many options. And it is more expensive, especially for like omakase.
Yo, Shiro was 140 for the bar seating or something.
Yeah, it's so much more expensive to do
gosh.
omakase out there than it is in New York. Like New York, I feel like, well, there's a place I'm trying to go. It's called Sendo, and I think their most expensive omakase set starts at 47. It's like 47.
That's
yeah.
our most expensive?
Most expensive.
What?
Wait, what's their least expensive?
I think it's like 30 something.
Dang.
Which is like, how?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I also agree that fine dining, I think, in New York is better. Granted, I have not experienced fine dining in LA, so that's probably like so unfair of me to say. But just based on like things that I've heard about New York.
What do you guys eat when you guys visit the West Coast? Like, is it just mostly Asian food or kind of like all across the board?
Tacos.
Asian food and tacos.
In and out.
But not tacos in Seattle.
Oh, really?
We don't have good Mexican food there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Guys, the infamous question, In and Out or Shake Shack?
In and out.
Can I throw in Five Guys?
Five Guys is like
I actually
a national thing though.
got in an argument with my coworkers about this. They think Five Guys is trash.
No,
and
it's
they
really
think
good.
In and Out is the best, and Shake Shack is
But are we
second.
like
wait, Shake
talking
Shack
about
is national,
cost?
too.
No, taste. Purely based on like what a good burger is.
Oh.
I feel like the overall experience.
Well, when you get a
Low-key-
fucking hat from In and Out and cosplay and shit. Oh my god.
Okay, actually, I will say when I went to SF this weekend, I got In and Out as I always have to. It did not hit the same. I think like the In and Out restaurants in that area or just like in general are really inconsistent. Like some are just like so good and they like add enough sauce. This one like did not have enough sauce. It was like kind of dry vibes. But when it is a good In-N-Out burger, it's good I think for the experience because of the price and just like you know what you can expect. I think with Shake Shack, I think I agree that I like Shake Shack's like maybe quality quote unquote a little better and like the texture of the burger. But for like $10 for like something this small.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I don't think you can hold all things equal though, like because you know cost is a big factor in terms of like why I would choose In and Out. I think if I had the option, like they're all three right in front of me, but like In and Out's obviously the cheapest. I would walk in there because I know I'm gonna basically feel just as happy walking out. But for the taste, I think I'm between Five Guys and Shake Shack, but
Wait, let me throw in 7th Street in there too.
God, 7th Street.
Because Sarah is addicted to 7th Street.
I'm also
Have you had
addicted.
it like not drunk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I've
'Cause
had
we
that
be-
like 3 times.
God.
So good. It's so close to us.
I love it. Well, I didn't realize how close it was the first time, and I like ordered it as delivery, and it like wasn't that late, so I don't really know why I did that. But then after
Uber
that,
driver's like bet 1 block
I
away.
looked it up after like it came in. I was like, wait, I could have walked there in like 10 minutes. I should have done that.
No, Loki is a little sus over there though, so we usually order.
It is a little sus over there. I think my final answer would be if we're deciding between Five Guys and In-N-Out, or not In-N-Out, Five Guys and Shake Shack, it would be Five Guys because I have a loyalty to them because I didn't have the other options growing up.
Oh yeah.
And I really love all the toppings that Five Guys has. Like I love
yeah.
like loading it up, like
All the way.
give me the onions, give me the mushrooms. I love like a shroomy
All the
burger.
I love it when it comes out and it's a little wet from
Dude,
like the juices of the
yeah.
meat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
that's
like
what-
honestly. I don't
Juicy.
like my burgers too juicy because then the bun gets soggy, and I hate soggy bun.
Oh.
As a mate, you're not a true Five Guys fan. Anyways,
I honestly haven't had Five Guys in years. Ever since moving here, I was like, I don't need Five Guys.
yeah,
I
because
had
all
that
you eat is
Indiana.
7th Street and McDonald's.
Hell yeah! I would bring 7th Street and McNugs to my grave.
Your death row meal is like nothing fancy, just like a 7th Street burger and
Dude,
like McDonald's
I would be so
McNuggets.
happy.
Okay, but what sauce?
Sweet and sour, or honey, or
Honey or honey mustard?
Honey.
Oh, both. Oh my god, honey mustard. I'm a saucy girl. I would just dip it in all of them.
Okay.
Or ranch.
I'm ranch and honey, not honey mustard. Though.
Oh, do you mix or just like every other bite or something?
I'll eat one chicken nugget with honey and then one chicken nugget with ranch.
So good. I approve.
All right, we need to come to a final consensus for which coast has the better food. Maybe better is hard, but like slightly better than the other
Okay,
coast.
overall
you know?
vibes, I
Like
have
they're
my
both
answer.
good.
I have my final
Yeah.
answer.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
New
East
York.
Coast.
Okay.
Oh.
Nice. Yeah, East Coast, yeah,
we all agree.
yeah. Nice.
We're potentially very biased because we live here.
Yeah,
and we
that's
can't live
true.
with the fact that we have a bad food scene, but
I don't live here.
Joyce's are unbiased opinion. But even like between Seattle and like California, you'd say there's a pretty big difference, right? Food wise.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's way more like variety, I would say, in California. And also there's like no fast food in Seattle. So like
Dickies
yeah, there's
is
that.
terrible.
It's
It's
terrible?
it's kind of yeah, it is kind of terrible, but it is terrible the first time you eat it, and then
Your expectations are set.
and then you like get used to it, and you're like, well,
my
You get
God.
one.
actually, I kind of like you, you know?
This is how we should not treat men.
You're so true.
Oh my god. I shall exit. Wait, sorry. Before we move away from food, we need to talk boba.
Oh.
Okay.
I think West Coast is better. We don't have we have like
We have a
good
lot of the
boba,
same things,
but
though.
they have really good boba in my opinion.
Low key, I will say the TPT there is a lot better than the TPT in Flushing.
And
I don't know
the
why.
chicha, what is
Oh,
it
yeah,
called?
chicha
It's
sancha.
like okay here.
They
have you had
it
it,
there
Joyce?
too.
I haven't had chicha, but I tried Haiti for the first time, and I don't know if that's like a New York
Wait,
thing.
they have one in the plaza that I went to for dim sum in Cupertino.
Oh, they don't have it.
Haiti?
Yeah.
How was
I think
Haiti
it's
there?
new. We tried to get it. I couldn't find it. I think it's like a new thing.
I don't really know if it's like a New York versus LA thing, but the Haiti here went crazy. Like it actually was maybe the best tea I've ever had.
Wow.
Tea drink.
Yeah,
tea
yeah,
drink,
yeah.
yeah. We had other stuff mixed in it, but yeah.
Did you get like a milk tea or like a
No,
fruit?
I got the mango coconut boom.
Okay. Oh my god, that
That's
sounds
so
so good.
good.
Oh my god, I
If
want
that was
that right
closer,
now.
that'd be crazy.
Wait,
They're opening one in Chinatown.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do
When
you
is
guys
it,
know
though?
where?
No.
I walked
try your
by it
best.
the other day.
She's like,
I know I walked off the subway and it was there.
no.
Ooh, something that we don't have here that they have in the West Coast is Happy Lemon.
They have Happy Lemon on the West Coast.
It's kind of mid.
A
though.
million
on the
percent.
East Coast.
Oh, on the
They
East
don't
Coast?
have it on the East Coast. Yeah.
Oh, they don't.
It's mid.
Happy
it's
lemon's okay.
yeah.
It's too sweet. Even if
Yeah.
you get like less sweet, it's still too sweet.
They have this like taro drink that I so bad. I remember when I was drinking it, I was like, "What even is taro?" Because it just tasted like
It's a
cookies and
root.
cream or like birthday cake vibes.
I feel like that's how
Just,
like
like,
white
vanilla.
people like explain what taro tastes like to each other. They're like, yeah, it's kind of vanilla-y.
It's like kind of sweet.
Yeah, and that's it.
And like purple.
All right. So we're all giving that point to New York. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
East Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, should it be East Coast or New York?
Maybe they should help me decide where I should live. Like,
Yeah,
we
honestly,
tally the points
by
up,
the
and
end
it's
of
like
this-
whichever round, like, you know, who wins, then tally it up. And if it's like New
Okay.
York, then I guess I'll move
Okay,
here.
bet. Whichever one wins, Joyce is moving to.
All right.
Oh, yeah. But to your point, yes, I think for our audience and for us, East Coast equals New York, potentially Boston. I've only been to Boston once.
Same.
And then like West Coast is Seattle, Bay Area, and like LA, OC.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe San Diego. But my only thing of San Diego is like tea and tacos.
Weird combination, but okay. All right. We're going to move on to vibes. So the statement that I'm going to put out here: West Coast people are nice, but not kind. East Coast people are not nice, but kind.
I've heard this and I think it's so true.
What are you trying to say about West Coast people?
Wait, come again because I keep forgetting.
West Coast people are nice, but not kind. East Coast people are not nice, but kind.
Okay, yeah. So if you think of East Coast, like New York vibe, and they're not nice, but they're kind. Okay, so New York people are like, when you walk down the street, most of the time you don't really like look at other people. You kind of just like do your own thing or you just like go past. But if like you really need help or you actually do strike up a conversation, I feel like people are like really...
So like, yeah, I'm
What's the
confused.
difference, though?
Is that not
between kind and nice?
like outwardly and inwardly? Like you can
Okay.
inwardly be a nice person, but outwardly be kind of like fake.
Okay, got it.
But like that's what I'm saying. Like the thing you describe, wouldn't people on the West Coast like be the same? Like is it that much of a difference?
Yes, but I feel like on the West Coast, people are more like open with each other in public.
Oh, you're just talking about like first impression type shit?
Like when you get the sense of someone being like warm or cold, like I feel like New Yorkers come off as a little cold if you just like have first impressions or just see them. But
That's
then-
interesting.
Yeah, what's
because
your opinion, Joyce?
I don't have a good sense of like what's it like in California, but I can speak specifically for Seattle. And I would say the opposite actually of what you guys are saying. I would say people in Seattle are kind. They're just socially awkward. So they're
Oh my
not going to
God.
strike up a conversation with you. And it's not just that they're not going to strike up a conversation with you, but I think one of the main things that I missed when I moved directly from like the Midwest to Seattle was that like people wouldn't really like look you in the eye when you walk down the street. They would kind of like look down or like look at their phone or just like look away. And they basically just won't look at you. They won't smile at you. If you're standing in the elevator together, you might as well not even be there. But here I feel like people are like actually open to like smiling at you, saying hi, asking how your day was, like striking
That
up
is
random
so
conversation.
interesting.
That's the experience I've had here, but maybe
Where are you walking? I want to walk there too.
everywhere. I had this like when I first got here, there was this like cute old lady who was like wearing all pink on the subway, and her hair was pink, and she just like kept smiling at me, and then I like said like have a good day.
Aww.
So I don't know. I think people like here are way friendlier than you'd think. There's like the one or two bitchy people every once in a while, but like they're everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was visiting Seattle. I'm still like kind of like, I think it's tied. I think there's like, I don't know. But I was in Seattle and I felt like everyone was so willing. Like I feel like people were nice and they were like kind. Like it was like both, you know? So I don't know. Like everyone was just so like welcoming. Like I was telling people like, oh, like we're just visiting out of town from New York, and they were like so quick to like recommend us places to go to. Granted, we did see like 2 homeless people fight on the streets.
Maybe we need to redefine it because like I feel like the difference is that maybe in Seattle they are going to come off like upfront as nice, but they might not necessarily want to get to know you. Whereas I think in New York, people do want to get to know you.
Wait, maybe we're too fixated on like the nice versus kind thing, but like just overall vibes.
Okay, even like at work, like the New York hustle culture, I feel like penetrates like yes, work, but also then kind of the people. Like everybody here is so go. Oh, it's also so it's like probably generation dependent too, because I feel like I know people in the West Coast that are also go in their places, but it's also because like we're the same age.
I mean, if we're talking about hustle culture, there's definitely more of a hustle culture here. Everyone's just comfortable, I feel like, on the West Coast. Like they like most people, I feel like they're like, yeah, I'm gonna stay at this company and then just gonna stay there. But I feel like here people are always trying to like sort of level up in a way. Because it's expensive to live here. Like, I get it. Like, I really didn't get it until, like, my month and a half here. And I was like, maybe I do want to get promoted. Or, maybe, like, I should, like, see what's out there. Just because it's expensive to live here. And if you want to, like, you know, keep up with your lifestyle.
Totally.
Wait, actually, I completely agree with that. I visited my brother, and they're just, like, so happy and content with where they are. And, like, that's okay. But then, like, reflecting on myself and Rebecca, we're like, what is the next thing I'm chasing, you know? Like, I feel like we're always moving. I mean, we're all moving forward, but like the path that we take is so much more like rise and grind and like how many things can we fit in our day kind of thing. Yeah. And they're just like, oh, like we wake up, we go play pickleball and just like, you know, chill and shit. And like, it's just 2 different ways of living, you know?
Yeah. I feel like my mindset's always been that way. And then like coming here, I'm like realizing that like, oh, wow, maybe I do fit in here more than I think. Because I feel like one of my like struggles has always been like, there's so much I want to get done in a day. And like, I can't possibly do it all, but I like am going to try and fit like all the things that I want to do in one day and like find some way to like rejigger things and make it work, you know?
Yeah. Did you feel like you were out of place in Seattle having that mentality?
I remember talking to my therapist and being like, I feel like I just have to be different because what I want out of life is different than some of the people around me here. I think I had like mentioned something about like, oh, like obviously like I have a full-time job and I like want to stay active, but I also want to work on my music stuff. So those are like 3 big priorities, right? You know, like some other people, they might just have 2 of those, like their job and then like one outside hobby, like that they are like very invested in. But I was like, I have all these things that I really care about. And like even outside of those, like I really care about like my community and friends. And then I also had family in Seattle. So that's like 5 big pillars of like things to like keep up with, you know, like everything takes time.
Yeah. And sleep.
And sleep. And I do prioritize my sleep. I try to.
Cool. And love.
Well.
It's okay, man. She's coming back to New York. I don't know. Do you think we should put a point for this one? Like, I don't know where you guys would put your point for.
I guess it's our own preference, right?
Yeah, like where you feel more.
Yeah.
I think you fit in.
Yeah. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
3,
Vibe.
2, 1.
New York.
This is so biased. We obviously live here for a reason.
Okay.
I just feel like people have been nicer to me here.
But also just to
people
preface,
want to get to know me.
Yeah.
I think every
So
part
different.
of New York has its own vibe too. Like Manhattan is definitely giving like, well, we live in FIDA, so everyone's just like walking fast and shit and like you know, like the vibes are different versus you go to like Williamsburg.
Brooklyn,
Yeah, Brooklyn. I actually enjoy Brooklyn so much because I feel like it's a good balance between like the grinding, but also like everyone is just so chill. But then Jersey City is then giving like West Coast.
Really? Why? Is it just like really chill and family
It
culture?
reminded
Yeah.
me of Boston for some reason.
Boston,
Like one of the streets.
Journal
Wait, maybe it was
Square.
Hoboken. Or no, maybe it was Jersey City. Yeah, I don't know. One of the streets was just like really quaint.
Yeah, Rebecca went there for like a meeting, and she texted me. She was like, "I don't think I could move here till I'm ready to like settle down." And I'm like,
Whoa.
"What? This is crazy."
Dang.
Wait, you never visit Jersey yet?
No. No,
Oh my
no,
god,
I
you should
haven't.
ferry there.
Jeez, now you have to come
It's really
back.
cute.
It's really cute.
It can be cute.
Okay.
It's a different vibe.
I got a job offer like not recently. This was like in college for a city in New Jersey, but I think it's in the middle of nowhere. That's kind of why I didn't take it.
Oh.
Parsippany. Have you ever heard of it?
Good God, no.
Like parsnippany?
I don't know. It's kind of sounds like parsnips,
Parsley?
like the vegetable.
And just like a couple extra Y's at the end.
My vegetables like that.
Parsnips are like white
Parsnip.
carrots.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're carrots?
No, they're not carrots.
They look like
They're
carrots.
They are similar
Oh.
in nature.
It's a root.
Back to
Carrots
root vegetables
And roots and
Taro,
purple things and vanilla-y things.
parsnips.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that would have been a very different experience.
We're all saying New York for that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Transportation. We're doing subways versus car life. There's no statement for this one. Just literal and straight up.
I feel like this one's too easy.
Wait, I'm going to say to be honest, I enjoy car life better.
Tell me more.
I think it's just I've been here for like 3 years now. This is my 4th year. And the whole aspect of hauling groceries into an elevator, like literally double fisting grocery Trader Joe's bags, and it's like half spilling out. And then you're concerned if it comes out of the bag, what are you going to do? And then like fighting for a seat
This
with
is
your fucking
personal.
groceries. It's just like there's so many factors. If I could just throw it into a car and then just drive it home and then move it to my kitchen, you know? That's one big thing. Groceries. I have a friend who lives on a 6th floor walk up. Like,
Oh my
holy
gosh,
shit.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Well, I wouldn't live in a 6th floor walk up, first of all, because that would be impossible for groceries. But,
What if it was 1300 and the best view of the skyline?
well, then I don't need to do stair stepper anymore at the gym.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's my workout right there.
She's a 10, but
I would say I liked having a car, and like one of the things that was honestly like stress relieving for me is like driving like at night.
yeah.
Listening to music.
Listening to music on the highway.
Windows
Ugh,
down.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Windows down in the summertime, AC max. You know how it is.
Yes.
But I don't actually think I used my car that much in Seattle. But
Wait,
that's
how
probably
would you
because
get
of the
around?
neighborhood I lived in.
You could just walk.
Yeah.
Wait, were
I
you in Cap Hill?
I lived in Cap Hill. So that, like,
Oh.
for context, is like one of the more like young areas. It's more concentrated. Like, I would say you don't need a car if you live there. Like, I would say in Seattle, it's nice to have a car, especially if you want to do stuff outside of the city, but you don't necessarily need one, especially if you have like a friend or like a roommate that has a car. And I would honestly go to the grocery store by just walking like quite a bit. Like I wouldn't like take a car a lot of the
Wait, I
time.
heard Vivian and Ashley sometimes just walk to like the H Mart or like
Yeah.
the
Wait, they kind of live far from there.
QFC. Is that
Yeah,
what it's called?
QFC. Yeah, H Mart, QFC. I would walk to get my groceries most of the time, unless I knew I was like getting like a lot of stuff. Or I guess if I would go to Costco, then I would do
Oh,
that.
gosh.
But
I just have like flashbacks of. I used to go to the 72nd Trader Joe's because that's the closest one to my fucking campus, and I just have so many memories of like like when some of the stairs are way too fucking narrow in a subway, and people are just trying to fight their way up, and then
Yeah.
you're just like dodging your groceries, dodging
your
your bodies,
appendages.
and then just like an old woman here, you're like, okay, I'll let you pass, but then it's like I don't know, it's just a whole like shebang I did not miss dealing with. Like whenever I go back to Texas, I drive, and it's just like I love being in control of just like. I can leave whenever I want. I don't need to go on a subway's
relying on the
timeline
times, yeah.
'Cause,
And the
like-
transfers, if there's any.
like you miss a subway, you're fucked. Your whole schedule's fucked.
Yeah. Sometimes
That's
the next
true.
train's in like 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be late. My thing is, like, now that I'm used to the trains and the culture here, I feel like people are pretty forgiving if, like, you're a little bit late. Or, like, usually when you say time, it's, like, kind of around that time, depending on the person. But
1 hour later.
oh, Jesus. I miss driving for the same reason. Like, I process when I'm driving too. It's like self-care to like listen to music, windows down, just like brain off kind of thing.
it's very mindful.
Very, very mindful and respectful.
Very demure.
Yeah, I kind of miss like the errand vibe of driving, like packing up my car to like go run some errands and like driving to a cafe. Here it's like I don't like sitting on the subway because it feels.
Do you still not touch anything?
I will sit sometimes if I'm tired or if it's like a longer commute.
She's evolving.
you
dirty,
don't
dirty
sit?
I used to not
girl.
sit at all. Like I would just stand, even if I was hauling.
The first week she was moving.
Just take your clothes off when you come home.
I just take
Strip
my
at the door.
The first week Sarah
Just,
moved here. We
psychological.
all went to go get dinner and we hopped on a subway and everybody just sitting down and she's playing fucking Subway Surfer like just like like
Oh
that
my
is
God,
an
well-
ick.
I have a great idea. It's actually like a something that you would purchase, you know, like a product where you wouldn't have to touch stuff. If you're like holding on to like a thing, like a rail
Yeah,
or whatever.
like a glove.
Yeah, like a glove, similar, but not exactly.
If you whip out
I'll
a
tell you more
fucking
about it later.
glove on a subway, that is crazy.
Well,
Subway glove.
you want to talk about how gross subways are, like
New York is gross, period.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
I think I've gone a little bit less like what is the word for it? Like germophobic
Oh yeah.
since living here for the past month and a half. I'm like, well, it's dirty, I'm dirty, we're all dirty.
yeah.
Let's be dirty together. You
When
know?
I first,
I
you
don't
might
know.
as well.
I mean,
I remember when I first moved to LIC and I got my first couch with Amy. We were like talking, we're like, should we let people like sit on the couch in their house?
that is crazy.
I know, but
that's
we're
a
like,
valid question.
yeah, but then we're like, there's no way we can like if people are coming over, they're gonna bring like whatever. So we're just like, okay, whatever. Couch is like free for all.
You know what you could do though? Like a solve for that would be like you get a big couch cover that you put on when other people come over and when you like know it's just going to be like you and your roommate like at home like
Yeah.
you have a rule where you like take off your outside clothes and you sit on the couch the way it's supposed to be sat on.
Yeah.
Low key, I would implement that in my home.
Really?
I totally would.
I think at this point I'm like I don't care.
mean,
It's mostly just
yeah.
my bed.
Bro,
I'm just
I mean,
like, I
like we
won't.
fucking have a dog who walks
Yeah,
out
the
there.
dog,
His paws
I
are
think
black
that
and then just
really-
hops in your bed and digs a hole. Like, god damn.
Yeah,
and
I
then you're
think-
just like sleeping in that hole at night. You're
Yeah,
like,
I think that's why
Oh.
I'm like so I don't care anymore.
I think one of the things I do like about like New York transportation though, is that people are more forgiving here because I already run late. So if I'm late,
Perfect.
I can just blame it on the subway. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, the L was down.
So
like
weird.
it was like delayed or that
Yeah, so
happened.
bad.
It
They're
wasn't
like,
me.
wait, I took the L. You're like, well, my
Wow.
train. No, totally.
my first day of my internship in PT school, my first day, I was late by an hour.
Oh my
And then I
gosh.
told my my CI at the time, it was the subways, and she believed me.
Well,
And I
Can't
got
do
away with
anything
it.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, another point too of why I think I've adapted and I prefer, like, I do miss driving, but I think like
Wait, don't talk about adapt. Talk about what you want.
what I actually want.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. I think like train is totally fine, especially like it's not something that's like a deal breaker for me living in the city. Like I still miss driving, but I really don't mind trains. And in fact, maybe I do like them because honestly, like the commute here is pretty similar to stuff in Carmel. Because like in Carmel, you'd still have to drive like 20-30 minutes to get to an establishment
That's
or
true.
grocery store, or like maybe 40
to go to school.
Literally,
It was like 30
Oh my
minutes
god,
for
you were
me.
really far.
I was really far from
I was like
school.
a 7-minute drive.
Yeah.
I remember
And
one
I was
time
driving
going
that,
to your
like,
place, I
halfway.
was
Just
walk to
what
school.
the heck? Dude, I did walk to school one time with my friend. It took an hour. It was so dumb.
Oh my God,
I don't know.
what?
No, not for school, but it was like a weekend. I don't know. We were bored. Anyways, and then to like Indy, it'd be like what 40 to 60 minutes ish. Honestly, here's like the same thing. Like it still takes like 20 minutes to get to like kind of a place and then maybe 40 minutes to get to a further, but it's better because I can like read, sleep, listen to music, or like text or go on my phone rather than
don't
like having to
text.
pay attention to where I'm driving. Wait, what'd you say?
I said you don't text, period.
Oh, wait, that's
You're just like playing with your fucking screen or some shit.
I will say another pro to New York transportation would be that you can be intoxicated. Like obviously you're not going to be like
Oh, true.
intoxicated, but like you can be, intoxicated on the train and like you can still get home like I've, 3-4 drinks, 5 drinks.
yeah.
Yeah, and you can get home just fine. You like no problem. But if I were to do the same thing and I have to drive after, I can't drive after. So like I would
That's
have
so
to Uber.
true.
Do you know how much money that racks up? That racks up.
I'm
Little
still
grind.
taking the Uber here. You know what? Here, let me argue against it, actually. The issue is that the New York subway system is really fucking inefficient. So sometimes, like, to get from, where did we go that one time? The Brooklyn Navy Yard thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
For that if we went from that to, like, FIDI, that would have been, like, a 1 hour and a half fucking
Yeah.
commute.
Yeah,
So you're still taking
well,
Uber.
true.
But that's
for
still, like,
certain places.
Yeah.
Yes, but a lot of the time the issue is not like how good the public transportation is. It's more the fact that New York even has a robust enough public transportation system that people can actually use it on their day-to-day to commute to places like work, school, you know, hang out with the friends, restaurants. Like most other cities like don't have that. Like I would say Chicago is the only other like major city that has like a good enough public transportation system where people don't feel like they need to rely on cars. Because like Seattle, we have one line, okay, and only runs north and south.
Is
from
it a
like
bus or is it like a
no, it's like
train
basically
thing?
like
The light rail?
yeah, light rail.
Oh.
I guess it's not really a subway. It's like above ground.
How much is it?
Honestly, probably like $3 or $4 per ride. I don't ride it that much though because it's not useful.
Yeah.
Like I'm never really going like north south that much unless I'm going to, I don't know, say the airport or something.
Because then it's like you have to probably Uber or drive somewhere even after.
Yeah,
that, too,
because it doesn't
so.
take me directly to my location.
Yeah.
And it doesn't go like east to west, which honestly going to east to west is like what I want to do more than going north to south because like that's where some of my friends live.
Yeah.
But I can't do that. So I'm like Ubering or like I have like a drink when I go somewhere or like I park my car and I'm like, I'm staying the night.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree. I do try to limit myself with alcohol when I'm not in New York.
That's why the party culture here is good.
I will say, I wish I did have a car here so I could explore the other parts of New York that we can't explore as much. Like,
Or like
the
upstate?
Yeah, upstate.
But
Or
then
like,
you would rent a car, right? Because then you have to pay for
but that's what I'm
parking.
saying. It's like the essence. Like we have to go through the whole process and pay like another $1,000 to rent it for like a weekend and stuff.
Don't people like who live in like Brooklyn, parts of Brooklyn, like have their cars?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's like the
Hey,
further out
best
you
of
go.
both worlds.
That's what I'm saying. I have friends who like park their cars in Queens and then they'll like leave it at a parent's house, but live in Manhattan. And then when they need it, they'll pick up their car and drive to like Long Island or like drive upstate and whatnot.
Well, that's so different because they don't have to pay for parking.
Right. But I think it's just like
Just
you can have
having access to
freedom.
one,
Yeah. I don't know. All right. You guys want to put your point down?
Yeah.
I have my answer.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
New
West
York.
Coast. I miss my car. I can't.
Wow.
In the perfect world, I would have a car.
Right.
Seriously.
Okay.
I think if we could have both, obviously. Yeah, that would be ideal.
We're going to move on to a very fun topic, the dating scene. So the statement for this one, you need to be pretty to date in LA. You need to be rich to date in NYC. I think it just goes I think it just goes to the fact that maybe East Coast we have a more emphasis on like we see people their worth is like their like background, maybe their jobs, maybe like what they do, yada yada yada, versus like the West Coast is more like you just have to be pretty. I don't know if that's like I'm obviously generalizing. This is a statement I found off the internet, but yeah.
I would say,
I guess this is mostly for Joyce to answer.
that's tough. I would say like people,
Is there any truth to that statement in your opinion?
so you need to be pretty to date in LA. I haven't done much dating in LA, so I don't know. But I would say when I have been on dating apps in LA, I would say generally the men were quite attractive, you know, and just in general, like people are attractive. I feel like people are attractive in New York as well, though. But I feel like people also care about like your status in terms of like what's your job, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
So I think there's that additional layer. Whereas I think like there's a lot more creatives in LA than there are in New York.
I feel like on the East Coast, like when I was single for a bit, this is a big thing because I was a student when I became single, and I was like, I feel like I can't get any matches just because the sheer reason I'm a student.
That might not be the only reason.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, that's not what I meant though.
No,
I really didn't. No, I didn't mean it in that way. Let me backtrack.
Cut.
Wait.
She meant it in that
No,
way.
No,
I'm kidding.
I actually need to explain what I meant.
Please.
Because
Clear up the confusion.
here's my perspective, and this has nothing to do with Coast, but I think like after graduating college, I didn't realize at first like how different like your lifestyle as a student versus like as like a full-time worker looks like. And I don't want to be dating someone like
Who can't pay for you?
No, I didn't want to be dating someone who's studying on the weekends. Like my weekends are like fun. And like if I'm hanging out with you and you're like studying on the weekend, unless I'm like already in love with you before you started school, like I don't know if it's gonna happen because I'm going to be like wanting to have fun with you and you're like, sorry babe, I gotta study, and what am I gonna do? I'm like, okay, as long as you're okay with me going out, I'm gonna have fun, but like we're not hanging out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's my perspective. It's not like you can't pay for shit, but maybe a little bit of that.
That too.
Fuck off. But even then, it's like we looked at a couple of your Hinge profiles before. It's like, what was that? The equity guy, and then the other one was like the VP of some shit, and it's just like
VP in investment banking.
Like what the fuck? Like if I were single, what the fuck am I supposed to say? I'm just a physical therapist. You know, it's just like.
That's why dating apps suck because it puts people literally like it's like a resume on paper. It's like how well do you do on paper, but like that doesn't really tell you anything about people.
Yeah. But also I'm like on the flip side, everyone's so pretty.
In LA or in general?
West Coast.
Oh. West Coast? That's such a big generalization though. I don't know if I can make that because if we say West Coast, that's like so many cities. LA, New York, or not New York, LA, SF, like Portland, Seattle, and like I don't know if I can make that generalization all the way up to Seattle because I wouldn't say that. The women gorgeous, smart, almost so many of them.
What about the men?
They all make good money because they're all software engineers.
Sweet.
And like I would say there are like attractive people. They just all tend to kind of hang out in the same groups because, you know, I feel like attractive people like attract each other, you know? So it's more common that like if you maybe meet someone who's attractive, like they might be friends. So maybe like that makes it a little awkward because honestly, Seattle's a relatively small city.
Yeah, I feel like all the Asians like low-key have connections with each other.
Not just Asians. Like if you like specific things, like for example, like I'm really into electronic music. So like maybe other people who are also really into electronic music, like if I was dating one of them, maybe like another one of them, like they would be friends, you know? Like, they're all like the circles are small enough.
Dang.
Sarah, how do you feel about eventually entering the New York dating market?
I'm terrified.
Why?
Like, there's such a connotation of New York dating. Like, people don't want to commit. I'm also people, so... or just like...
Well, that's so interesting. Someone we know mutually actually said the same thing, too. Like, New York's vibe is just that nobody wants to commit.
I would say that's true since my time here. I mean...
God, you sound traumatized.
I'm not traumatized. I'm just saying, like, my honest thoughts and opinions. Like,
Everyone's
I was on dating apps for a long time in Seattle. And then I felt like it was like super easy for me to like go on a date and like actually for it to happen. But I feel like people are a lot more like wishy-washy here. Like,
wait, you mean just like going on a date in general or like the committing part afterwards?
Kind of both. Like I think that like if things are like further away, like people are not willing to like necessarily go on the date.
So in general, is it fair to say it's harder to date here than Seattle specifically?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's harder to like date, but like there's more options, so that's good. I would say like maybe on average like more attractive people, but like do I actually want to like lock it down, make things serious with them? Not necessarily. Like I don't like the idea of when people are like other people who I'm dating are like I have all these options because that makes me uninterested in them. You know?
Does that feel more prevalent in New York?
Yes.
Okay.
Because like I feel like if I'm talking about like men in Seattle, they have less options because it's so male dominated there. So like all the women have a lot more options. But here it's kind of the flip where like there are more women than men. And I think that maybe men think with that mentality potentially that they have like all these options. So like the second point to that is I think people here, there's so much more to do in the city. Like
date-wise and stuff?
Not just date-wise, just like in life. Like take dating out of the picture, there's more to do. Like just nightlife, restaurants, just random events that are always happening in the city, pop-ups, you know, like where like maybe dating isn't always at the forefront of like all these like young people like their mind. Because in Seattle, a city where I feel like it's a lot more fun if you're like in a relationship.
Oh, that's so interesting. Like, like couple hikes and
stuff.
Yeah,
because it's more like...
pickleball.
Exactly. Like more wholesome activities. You're like outside. We're going hiking, camping. Wholesome. Well, you know, hiking, camping, like picnics, all that stuff. Like, not that you can't do like some of that stuff here, but I feel like they're like the nightlife, I would say, is much better in New York than in Seattle. And so that just causes like the scene to feel more like it's more fun for singles, you know?
You can have your girly pop time. You can
Yeah.
have like solo adventures.
Exactly.
Totally. I didn't think
So,
about it
like-
like that. That makes sense.
I guess like for the both of you, do you guys just not expect to find like the man of your dreams here? Like at what point does like non-committal person become committed? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not looking for them. The non-committed.
Yeah, I think like right now I'm not even in a time where I can commit to like, even if I were in like a long-term relationship, I'm not at a time in my life where I'm ready to settle down. So I'm not really in a rush actually to like find someone to be super serious with long-term. I feel like when it comes
You're
to
not
the
even
point-
looking. Period.
That's true. Right now I'm not looking, period. I feel like if I were just in like dreamland, I'd be like, yeah, I feel like I would find my person in New York because that's where I see myself for the next several years, hopefully. So that would be nice. Because also I'm like, if I don't find them in New York, where do I find them? Like, I don't even know where I would move to next, but like, would it be there? It feels like there are a lot of options in New York. So it seems reasonable that I would meet them here, but it would be more so like at a time where I'm even at a point that I'm ready to be more committal.
Sarah, I think you're gonna go through 10 men before you find.
Oh my God.
Why is that? Oh my gosh.
I went on so many dates.
That's what
in
I'm saying.
Seattle.
It's really in Seattle.
Like, well, yeah, because I was single for so long.
R.I.P.
And
sister.
Still.
Yeah, when you debated all of Instagram on National Boyfriend Day.
That
Oh
was
my
so much
gosh,
fun.
that's
Oh
so
my God, that was like one of the best things that I've done. So basically, I pranked everybody who follows me on Instagram on National Boyfriend Day. And posted a picture with one of my best friends. He's gay. We've been best friends since sixth
This is
grade.
Josh, right, or
Yeah,
something?
Josh. And I posted a picture of me and him, but you couldn't really see his face at all. And he was just wearing a cap, like kind of like holding my waist. And I was like, "Love you, babe." Like, whatever. I don't know what I said. But everyone was like, "Oh my God," like responding, like hearting the story. And I was like sitting at my desk. Like I was supposed to be working, but I was like sitting there giggling. Like
Oh my god.
I was just, I literally
like your bestie.
no, I pranked some of my best friends. They're like, "Joyce, that can't be XYZ person who shall not be named," you know, like one of my exes.
One that's like, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's give it a point. East Coast or West Coast?
Can I even vote? I don't
I
even
don't
know if I'm qualified to
know.
vote.
Well, I'm not qualified, but I'm gonna give it. Again, think like what you want, and not like I'm forced to do this because I live in New York.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. West
New
Coast. What'd you say, Sarah?
I said New York. I don't know. I feel like
You're toxic.
the people here are
Well, say it. The
more
people here are
my
what?
vibe.
I understand, but I feel like it's just I don't think this way of dating is sustainable.
Well, I think it's very obviously situation by situation, case by case. The way I think about it, you only need to find one person. So it's like, you
Might as
know,
well just play the numbers game.
I guess in terms of like New York, that's why I'm like, honestly, I said West Coast, but I'm very on the fence still about the answer. I'm just saying West Coast because I'm a little biased. Like I have a little more experience there than dating here.
Oh, you miss him.
Please.
All right.
All
Our
right.
first West Coast point.
Fair enough. We're gonna do one more category. We're gonna do weather. So obviously, like kind of the generalization is East Coast. You get your 4 seasons, and then West Coast. We're not gonna do Seattle for this one because it's just rainy as fuck. But like, I feel like in California, everyone's like, we get like 70-degree weather like throughout the year. You know, hoodies and shorts vibes the whole year.
It's like spring, fall all the time.
I'm
I
a
already
seasons
know my
guy. I'm a
answer.
big seasons guy. I feel like each season brings like a new era of you. Does that make sense?
It like forces you to hibernate.
That's true.
I get to try like new outfits. Like, I love winter because I get to layer. I love layering, like hoodies, like jackets and shit.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I definitely like having the seasons because I think I'm such a go person that
Go.
go person go person that in the summertime I can't chill at all. Like I can't get any of the stuff done that is like actual like personal development type of things or like things that you have to sit at home and like sit on your computer and do.
Because it's hot girl summer.
Because I'm out having too much fun. But then in the winter, I'm like forced to be inside, which I like that aspect.
You're like hibernating and
Yeah.
healing vibes.
Yeah. And like catching up on my shows and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I'd feel a lot of pressure to go outside if it was like 70 every single day.
Yeah, but maybe you also wouldn't if that's like your normal.
I like seasons too, but it's also because that's like how I grew up, so I'm used to it, and I like snow. Although the snow here is kind of ugly because it just gets like muddy really quick.
Better than Indiana's snow. What the fuck?
No, Indiana snow's so beautiful.
I hated when I would get off the bus when I'd fly back from China, and then like the snow is already like 3 feet, and I just like jump into like a hole of snow.
Oh, I miss Indiana sunsets.
No, the sunsets are the best.
Yeah,
there.
I honestly don't see the sunset
Very
here that
purple
much.
and orange.
Yes, and it's like so expansive. The West Coast, even within California, like the Bay Area, kind of wacky weather too. Like it's okay for the most part, but like especially if you're in SF or like even within the Bay Area, like SF and Cupertino are very different weather-wise too. Sometimes it can just get so windy. I remember one summer I was there for an internship and I was literally so cold. Like it was so windy. I was so confused, and that was summer.
This is summer, right? Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily love that aspect. But if you say like Orange County, for example, I think it's also just like weather-wise, it's more dry there, which is nice.
Wait, Orange County is SoCal?
Yeah, it's like LA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I like the changes because it's either just like rainy or like nice and sunny, and those are like your only two variants.
I have a different take though. I know you said don't put Seattle in the picture, but my opinion actually, like, I loved Seattle weather because it's very temperate, and I'm a very warm-bodied person, but I also hate the cold. So, like, I hate when I'm too hot, but I also hate when I'm too cold, and I feel like East Coast has the worst of those, where, like, it gets super cold, but, like, also gets super muggy and humid, and, like, I hate walking outside and feeling like I have to take a shower right after. So I'm, like, actually kind of worried if I were to move here in the summertime, if I would even like it.
Yeah, I was like, you came at a very good
I know,
time,
that's why I did it, so I could
Yeah.
have a good impression of
good.
the city.
I mean-
I'm being love bombed, okay, by New York City right now.
Like, to be honest, winters aren't even that bad here. Like, if you grew up in Indiana, I was way colder at Purdue than I was ever here, you know? Like, just throw on like a...
Yeah, but you have to walk here.
Don't live in LIC.
I don't think it's that bad.
The wind there was insane. I literally almost got blown away. I almost could not breathe because the wind was so cold and so strong in LIC. I was like, I cannot inhale.
It's not that much further away from here.
No, I don't know what it is about it. It's like notoriously super windy.
You also lived kind of by the water, right?
Not even.
Like 10 minutes
Queensboro
away?
Plaza, yeah. Like 15 minutes in. Yeah, it was weird.
And then,
But yeah,
well,
it doesn't like get icy here, which is nice.
yeah, and the other thing about Seattle is, like, it's temperate. Like, it does rain, but for me, what's important is being able to, like, walk around outside, like, after work, and it does sprinkle sometimes, but it's really not that bad. And in the summer, great weather, never gets too hot for the most part, unless there's a heat wave, but that didn't really happen this year.
I visited during the year with the heat wave, and it was the worst time of my life.
Well, yeah,
because you
me
guys don't
too,
turn on
'cause
air
I don't have
conditioning.
AC.
Wait,
That's
there
the-
was,
they don't have.
you
Huh?
had a heat wave when you went?
No.
Not
This
this
is
time.
like 3 years ago. Wait,
Dang.
while we have you here, is the rain shit like for real? Like it's. I think like I ask every Seattle person that.
My answer is that people are so dramatic. I think that even people who live in Seattle, like, Seattleites are just haters, okay? Especially transplants who move there. Except for me, I was not a hater. No, they're such haters. Like, everyone's just like, oh, Seattle sucks. People love to say Seattle sucks. Oh, the rain sucks here. But, like, I feel like if you look at the forecast, like, a lot of the time it's like pretty equally rainy in some other cities in the fall or spring.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't think you can really say that. I mean, it is grayer. It is grayer. This is true. Maybe not rainier. It is grayer.
It's like cloudy.
So if that really bothers you, if you have like seasonal depression, maybe that's not a vibe. But I don't know. I think the winters, they don't get that cold. Like, I was just looking at the average temperature in January and February in Seattle versus New York, and it is like 7 to 10 degrees on average colder here in the winter than it is in Seattle. Like, it's like 40 something. Like,
Oh, that's
as
nice for
like,
winter.
Yeah, around 40.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it gets like what, like the lowest like 20 something here, right?
It's below
I feel like
freezing.
It can
though.
get in the 10s sometimes.
The tens?
Am I tripping?
Maybe it's just because you don't like the cold and you're just exceptionally
So
cold.
cold.
Well, there's also this thing called wind chill.
Fair enough.
I'm your local weather
Side-eye.
woman. I love the weather. I know so much. I'm always on the weather app.
Do you use the weather app
Meteorologist.
or a different app?
I do use the
AccuWeather?
weather app.
Do you have to pay for that?
It has ugly ass ads, but
Oh.
it's pretty informational.
Wait, okay, isn't it weird that like if we all took our phones out right now and looked at the weather app on the iPhone, it would all be different?
Really?
I swear,
I don't
like
know where my phone
I
is.
don't think I have my phone here either.
That's great.
but-
Thanks for sharing, Sarah.
You're so welcome.
All right. Are we going to give a point?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1.
West
East
Coast.
You said West Coast?
Yes.
What'd you
Wow,
say?
I'm the East Coast. I have to be a seasons guy.
I don't like sweating.
Seasons 52. I don't either, which is also why I don't like working out. But you deal
That
with
that
it.
is an insane connection. Sarah doesn't
Oh
work
my
out because she
God.
sweats.
Yeah, I actually. That's my.
Yeah.
Can you laser off your
I
sweat
want your
pores?
metabolism.
Laser my sweat glands.
7th
would
Street
love
Burger,
that.
McDonald's, no workouts. Sarah Yin.
I work out. I just don't love
Bro,
sweating.
you actually eat a fuck ton of junk food.
I
like,
eat more.
a
yeah,
fuck
I eat-
ton of junk
Not
food.
really.
Getting called out.
Do you see how demure I am with my chips? I always eat like a fourth of the bag and then like clip it.
No, but like that's on top of like the chicken nuggets you eat at night and like the ice cream sandwich you have after dinner.
Oh, I didn't have it yet.
Damn,
I gotta
call
have
her
See,
it.
out.
it's about to come. No.
Call her
I
out.
also wish I had your metabolism. Like shit. I eat like a speck of rice and I become like
Wait, no, I don't. But like my meals aren't that big.
they've been getting bigger.
Excuse me.
Big back.
And I eat half a burger and like 5 nugs when I do eat at night.
I have a bad habit, or I did have a bad habit when I first moved here, of like late night Uber Eatsing stuff because it's so much more expensive in Seattle to Uber
Oh,
Eats.
really?
Yeah, they have like a like an additional fee for drivers so they can like be like paid a reasonable wage, which is great.
Isn't that
for
just
them.
tip?
No, it's like,
like an
not
actual-
tip. It's like already included
like
in the
standardized.
cost. Standardized
Oh
cost.
my
Standardized
God.
cost. That's why I would never get Uber Eats in Seattle unless I was like, you know, Uber Eatsing with other people so I can split that part of the cost. But
Yeah.
here and Chicago, so much cheaper. So I got Uber One, and this is not an ad, but like
Not sponsored.
I have problems.
Sponsored by Uber One.
I just would like at night, it was like sometimes 1 or 2 a.m. and I'm like, I can't go to bed. I'm like, I need something right now. And like so many fast food
So
restaurants
easy.
here. None of that in Seattle. I was
Dang.
deprived
Wait.
You just
for
buy
a long
a
time.
bag of frozen dino nugs.
It's not the same.
It's not the same,
But it
Sarah.
hits.
No, it's
Eh,
not.
Not really.
I'm sorry,
I'd rather
bud.
do that than pay like $5 in delivery and tax and tip.
Or
Heat up my little
just
dino nugs.
don't tip.
Ooh.
Controversial
Hot
topic.
take.
Not for today.
Tipping
I'm
culture.
kidding. Tip your drivers. Tip your drivers.
Just the tip though.
All right. So I think the score was like 4-0.
4-1.
No, 4-0.
No, there was one for dating. Cause you
Oh
guys
no,
did
no,
that.
you're
Dating,
right.
we
Joyce
both
and I
said West
both
Coast.
pick West Coast. This is 4
All right,
to
Joyce,
1.
you're moving here.
All right.
Dude,
Settled.
I do think you should give LA a try, just to
I
to
think
know for
so.
sure,
Yeah,
just to
that's-
know
I think
for
so.
sure.
Yeah, I probably should.
Maybe you fall in love. What?
What?
I actually told my therapist I'm not making a decision based off the men in the city. So it's all about me,
That's good.
baby.
Just to preface, we're overgeneralizing. We haven't lived in all these places we've been talking about.
that
and
would've
these
been
are
good to
just
say in the
our
beginning.
opinions. Okay, so if you take offense to anything we've said, just know that
Just
we're
don't.
also 3 idiots not knowing what we're saying. Okay,
It's true.
we've had an amazing time with Joyce. Thank you for coming.
Of course.
An actual announcement this time. Our YouTube channel finally hit 100.
Oh my god.
And that is
Yeah.
very small, but for Sarah and I, it's a big milestone for us.
Yes,
so
yes. Thank you
our
guys
next
so much.
episode, we're going to be doing a reflection episode. So if you have any questions you want to ask us, could literally be about any topic, please drop in the comments, DM us on Instagram, try to reach us. We'll be more than happy to do like a Q&A vibes. Granted, most of y'all probably know us in real life, but that's okay. Maybe you haven't seen us in a couple of years and want to ask us some crazy ass questions.
Or any questions about the pod journey.
About
etc.
my
Uh-oh.
never mind. My love life and how good of a boyfriend I've been.
My love life and how good of a friend I've been to myself.
And yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's so exciting. Thank you guys so much for joining our journey. And of course, thanks, Joyce. This was super fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I
Maybe we'll
honestly
see you
haven't-
again.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe I'll have more tea.
Oh
or
my
we'll
gosh.
never see you again.
No.
No, I hope you
Yeah.
come back. It's been fun
Yeah,
having you in
till
New
next
York.
time with Joyce on the pod. That'll be
What
awesome.
is this, like Weather Channel shit? Back to you.
when the camera doesn't switch in time, so you're just standing there smiling. Thanks for vibing with us, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any other opinions or if you agree with what we said,
Or
feel
disagree.
free to true.
Everyone should just
Let
move
us
to New
know.
York.
Exactly. And then we can all be on the pod together.
Think about the amount of stories we're gonna get if Joyce moves back and just, goes crazy, and then Sarah just like goes on like a dating rampage, and I'm just like here.
I'm ready for that episode.
That'll be epic.
That means you have to move here, bro.
That's okay.
We'll give you, I still have how many months left? End of January. So we'll give you next spring.
Are you gonna end, bro?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
You're just gonna rambling on for a whole new episode.
Okay. That's how it
Joyce,
goes.
do you have ADHD by any
Yes,
chance?
probably.
Oh, fuck. This is
So
amazing.
3 ADHD. With that,
TTYL.
TTYL until the next time.